Hello and welcome to the program. This edition of Newsroom series covering Nigeria's Southeast. I am Bukola Koka. First, the top stories. And starting in Abuja, where the House of Representatives Committee on Public Petitions has issued what it says is a final summons on the GCO of the Nigeria National Petroleum Company Limited. That's the group company managing director, Mr. Mele Kyari, after he failed to honor previous invitations. The committee chairman, Mr. Michael Letaba, who was visibly upset, says Mr. Kyari has repeatedly disrespected the House by his refusal to honor invitations, demanding that he must appear on June the 26th to prevent the House from invoking its legislative powers. Also summoned is the general manager of Ajib Oil Company. The NNPCL and Ajib are to answer questions following a petition against the two companies.
This is one of the matters that I think my colleagues should be aware that if there is any disregard and disrespect for this House, this is one of the matters that the whole world need to hear. There is no time we have invited Mele Kyari, and he appeared before the House, most especially in this committee, a parliament that Mr. President respects. And he comes here to do his rituals on a yearly basis by presenting his annual budget to the parliament. So if you are holding the mandate that Mr. President has given to you on behalf of Nigerians, and this is the House of the people, and these same Nigerians voted all the members in this committee and in this House, this 10th Assembly. And this 10th Assembly will summon you for how many times that you are not here. We'll just give them a short adjournment. And this adjournment will be 26th of June 2024. 26th of June 2024. If they fail to appear, then we will invoke our powers as legislators and as a committee and as a House.
The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has asked state officials in Edo and Ondo states to be wary of denying the opposition access to public facilities for electioneering ahead of the forthcoming off-season governorship polls in both states. A statement issued by the Commission's National Commissioner in charge of Information and Voter Education notes that Section 95, subsection 2 of the Electoral Act 2022 prohibits the use of state apparatus to the advantage or disadvantage of any political party or candidate at any election. The public facilities in question include sports stadia, open places, total denial or restricted access to state-owned media, specifically radio and television stations, the imposition of excessive levies and fees for outdoor and media advertising, and even the removal and vandalism of billboards and posters. A traditional title holder in Nasarawa State, the Madaki of Shabu, Mr. Musa Shaibu, has been abducted by gunmen. The police public relations officer, DSP Ramhan Nansal, confirmed the abduction to Channels Television. He said Mr. Shaibu was abducted on Thursday evening at about 20:15 hours local time after observing prayers at a mosque opposite his house in Shabu, a suburb of Lafia, the state capital. He adds that efforts are ongoing to rescue the victim and also arrest the culprits. And now to our stories from the Southeast. The Anambra State Governor, Professor Chukwuma Soludo, has inaugurated an 8-man panel of inquiry to investigate the cause of the Odigbo or Chanja market building collapse, as well as that of the Dennis Memorial Grammar School in Onitsha, the Centenary building to be precise. Inaugurating the members at the Governor's Lodge in Amobia, the governor notes that the two incidents involved loss of lives, and as a result, the panel must unravel the cause, having chosen them based on the expertise of the professional institutions where they come from and not nominally.
This building collapse is supposed to be just, the last one too many. When you have to involve one collapse set of buildings, from private capital. And now to say the 5-story building, Tertiary building, also collapsed. And I was informed several of the other buildings some other buildings are in very bad state. And we need to get to the result of this matter. We can no longer tolerate these building collapses in Anambra. We must put in the relevant standards. We need to get to the bottom of these matters. Why do they collapse? Who dropped the ball? And what changes do we need to make? Whether it's in our legal, regulatory, or enforcement mechanisms, institutions, and the government of the professionals. Here you are, state chairman of the various professional bodies. There's no better qualified team than you.
The team of building experts led by the chairman of Koran, Anambra State Chapter, Mr. Victor Meju, is mandated to investigate the collapse of lock-up shops at Odigbo, Ochanja, and the Centenary Building at Dennis Memorial Grammar School, Onitsha, in the areas of structural design, construction, and maintenance. They are also to assess the roles of relevant authorities, including regulatory and local government agencies, in monitoring and enforcing building codes, safety standards, and make recommendations. The panel has 4 weeks, or at most 28 days, to complete its investigation and submit its reports.
Members, very distinguished members of this panel, express our heartfelt gratitude for finding us worthy to serve in this capacity. We understand the sacred sanctity of this assignment to this administration. I want to reassure you of our commitment. The panel will be diligent and meticulous in unraveling the cause and then make fantastic recommendations that the government will find judiciously and well articulate for the benefit of Anambra and the entire Nigerians.
And in Anambra still, Governor Chukwuma Soludo has inaugurated the Governing Council of the Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu University, COOU. The governor performed the function at the State Executive Council chambers of the Government House in Awka, the capital, where he charged the chairman of the council, Professor Chidi Odinkalu, and his team to recreate an educational system that would be fit for purpose in the state-owned institution.
Would-be members of the Governing Council of Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu University, COOU, Ibariam, are already seated at the Executive Council chamber of the Government House, Awka. Anambra State Governor Professor Chukwuma Soludo arrives at the venue, which has the former chairman of Nigerian National Human Rights Commission, Professor Chidi Odinkalu, as the team lead. The governor, who views the university as the apex tertiary institution in the state, charges them to build an educational system that is fit for purpose, with an identifying brand the school will be known for among the Committee of Universities.
If you look at the baseline of where the university is and where we need to be, I'll say that the primary challenge you have, and that's why I said big commiserations, is really to work hard in regenerating, reinventing, reconfiguring this university to be fit for purpose. But what is it? Somebody were to, in the next 2-3 years, mention the Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu University somewhere in Tanzania, somewhere in Chile, or somewhere, somebody what will be the brand? What will this university be known for?
Responding in a vote of thanks, the chairman of the board gives assurances that he and other members will work with the acting vice-chancellor to tackle basic needs.
Article 24 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights says what? We're entitled to rest and learn. A university without recreation, AOAC, staff club, students club, badminton court, tennis court, table tennis, lawn tennis, we will have to address basic rest facilities in the school.
They tour the campus, starting with the school power substation, the library, where he frowns at the environment that is unmatched with the personality whom the school is named after, Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu. Inspecting the classrooms, the chairman condemns the littered classrooms, asking the students to do better by keeping the classrooms clean. The tour ends at the Department of Philosophy. Acting Vice-Chancellor urges students to be fearless and be self-confident as expectations are high from the Governing Council for Quality Outcome.
With high-powered men and women who are part of the council, led by the Pro-Chancellor, Professor Chidi Odenkalo. What do we expect? We expect that they will take charge of not just lifting the university to greater heights, but attracting a whole lot of people and attention positively to this university. We expect that they will help us drive our 3 V's: values, viability, and visibility.
The inauguration of the Governing Council opens a new chapter for the Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu University, and it's on the positive side.
And you're watching Newsroom series on Channels Television. There's more to come from the education sector as Ebonyi State embarks on civic education enlightenment campaign in schools on the new national anthem. Stay with us for details just ahead. In Imo State, an improved salary structure, extension of retirement age from 60 to 65 years, improved security infrastructure, and welfare of magistrates are some of the topics of discussion at the 2024 Magistrates Association of Nigeria Week in Imo State, Southeast Nigeria. With this year's theme tagged Repositioning the Magistracy in Imo State to Surmount Contemporary Challenges, the magistrates are calling on the state government to take seriously the challenges facing magistrates in the state with a view to finding a lasting solution to them. Our correspondent, Eyitokwe Kutei, has details.
It is the Imo State chapter of the annual Magistrates Association of Nigeria Week with the theme Repositioning the Magistracy in Imo State to Surmount Contemporary Challenges. Chairman of the Imo State Magistrates Association of Nigeria, His Worship Nkiruka Unwawa, speaks on the essence of the theme of the event while also highlighting some challenges bedeviling magistracy in the state.
It is our record that magistrates sitting in rural courts encounter challenges on daily basis in the course of discharging their sacred duties. These range from humiliation from the litigants, threat from the villagers and lawyers, to depleted courts and unhealthy environment and absence of little or no infrastructure.
While assuring the magistrates in the state of our continuous support, Chief Judge of Imo State, Theresa Chukwuemeka Chikeka, says no doubt the magistracy is the face of the judiciary. Hence, it must always appear composed, dignified, and respectable in order to attract respect and regard.
The magistrate courts are therefore, whether we accept it or not, the face of the justice delivery sector. It is the first point of call of most matters and the courts that handles most of the matters for the common man. Most matters also end there, and only a few people do have the cause to go beyond. This is why it's oftentimes referred to as the beast of burden of the judiciary.
Some magistrates present at the event wants the state government to review the retirement age of magistrates from 60 to 65 years, just as it's obtainable in some other states in the country.
Obviously, earning less than other judicial officers of the higher bench. So it's one of the challenges we have, given the economic realities we have in the country today.
There are a lot of challenges facing the magistracy in Imo State and Nigeria as a whole. And these challenges are multi-faceted. It ranges from security challenges, we have economic challenges, you have environmental challenges, you have health challenges, you have technology challenges.
magistrate courts were created by the operation of Section 6, subsection 5 of the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended, which vested the House of Assembly with the power to establish courts to exercise jurisdiction with respect to matters which the House of Assembly may make laws. Eyi Topakuta, Channels Television News.
Always bear it in mind whenever.
And now let's get an update on the cholera outbreak in some parts of the country. Recall that the Nigeria Center for Disease Control, NCDC, had declared an increasing cholera outbreak nationwide with 1,141 suspected cases and 30 deaths between January and June 11, 2024. And joining us for updates on the cholera outbreak or the spread of the disease, as the case may be, in Abia State, Nigeria, is a special advisor to the Abia State Governor on Health, Mrs. Ngozi Azodo. Welcome to the program, Mrs. Azodo.
Thank you very much for having me.
We're glad to have you. Let's start from what the state government is reporting, which is that despite 109 cases with symptoms of vomiting and the other associated, manifestations of cholera, there is yet no cholera outbreak in Abia State. Can you provide further clarity on this? Is it that all of the tests have not come in yet for confirmation of whether there is a cholera outbreak, or this is indeed a miracle?
Thank you very much for this opportunity to clarify some of these issues. The Abia State government the State Ministry of Health has been on top of the situation. As is required by the protocol, immediately there was cholera outbreak notification. We immediately set in motion every aspect of the response. And one of the things we were required to do is to do surveillance. And through that surveillance, we found 109 suspected cases. And out of those 109 suspected cases, some of which had already stopped being active, we also collected samples as required by the protocol. When you collect the samples, you do a rapid diagnostic test. So we did a rapid diagnostic test, and out of the samples that were collected, only 2 came out RDT positive. So those 2 were supposed to be confirmed at the National Reference Laboratory in Abuja, which is exactly what we did, and they came back negative. So by all protocols, we, as far as today is concerned, well, up to week 25, which is 17th of June, 2024, we do not have any positive cases of cholera in Abia State. We have continued to, increase our surveillance mechanisms and preventive measures. We are doing the information and communication. We are talking to people. The state government is actually providing water, in the areas where we had suspected cases. So we are on top of the situation, and we do hope that the situation is coming down. Right now, we do not have many suspected cases. For the week 26, which we are still reviewing the data, we will come out to say what has happened. But so far, we do not have any suspected, any positive cases. Thank you. Over.
Talk to us about the level of preparedness in primary healthcare centers across local governments in Abia State, particularly for quick testing. I don't know if there are laboratory infrastructure in those areas such that cases can be quickly detected.
Well, yes, there are. As a matter of course, as a matter of government policy, we are constantly ensuring that our health system is improving and the primary healthcare responses are on the alert. However, once there's an outbreak notification from the NCDC or any of the neighboring states, the natural thing we do is to immediately start our response. So at the primary healthcare level, we do not have all the laboratories working. That's why we have the rapid diagnostic test. So for those areas where we do not have laboratories working, we do the rapid diagnostic test. The rapid diagnostic test is the accepted protocol. And once we do the RDT, you either get a negative or a positive case. If you do get a positive case, it is now a requirement for you to do a confirmatory test, which is usually done at the National Reference Laboratory in Abuja. So far, all of that has been in place, and we are confident that our response is effective and active.
And you're providing assurances that the rapid diagnostic tests are available in all local government areas in Abia State?
Yeah, they are available in all local government areas. They are not just available in all local government areas. We are providing additional RBT kits, and we have also received some support yesterday from the Nigerian Center for Disease Control, and Abia State government is very, very grateful and thankful for that support. Thank you. Over.
All right, that's cheery to note. You also talked about your level of preparedness for surveillance in all areas, I believe. But talk to us about preventive measures as well, knowing that cholera is a disease that can be spread through food and feces. Talk to us about the availability of infrastructure in public places, public toilets, markets, and business centers to prevent the spread of the disease.
Okay, thank you very much. Well, cholera is a disease of lack of water, lack of potable water, as it were. So the first thing the Abia State government did when we had this outbreak is to intervene with providing potable water in those areas. And we could tell that immediately there was an improvement in the symptoms of the suspected cases. And then we didn't have rising numbers. Now, when the infrastructure for water, and when you look at the mapping of the areas where we have the most cases, it is also the areas in Abia State that are more challenged with availability of potable water. So what the government did first was to make sure that there is water. So the Ministry of Water Resources, of the Abia State government, working with the State Ministry of Health, brought water, tankers of clean water into those clusters where we had the suspected cases. Now, there are shortage of infrastructure as far as water is concerned, and that is what this administration is addressing. We have a water provision plan, for Abia State, and it has taken into consideration these areas where there are shortages of water or water infrastructure. Of course, when you look at the line of the seismic lines from Enugu towards Lokbanta, Umunocha, and all of that, there are also areas that have coal, so it's actually difficult to dig the regular borehole. So the government is taking all of that into consideration, but yet we have a water availability plan, and that plan is phased, and that plan is taking into consideration all the areas that are already challenged, with cholera. And that's not because of the cholera, but because there were also areas that were already known, to lack availability of potable water, which is a map that this administration has done. So we're taking it in phases, and we know that in a short while we'll have that infrastructure for water, in place for some of these areas. And it's an ongoing responding to it effectively. Thank you. Over.
Cherry report from Abia State, and we hope indeed that it stays that way, and there's more also to expand on, but we must leave it there for now. And thank you very much for your time on the program. We've been talking with the special advisor.
Thank you for that prayer and that hope.
We're talking with the special
that prayer and that hope. We intend to work hard to keep it that way also, and increasingly to get better as the days go by. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. The special advisor to the Abia State Governor on Health, Mrs. Ngozi Azudu. Thank you very much for your time. And there's more from Abia State now. The government has reiterated its commitment to tackling the food challenge and empowering young people in the state through the selection and sponsorship of 300 farmers for a 2-week intensive agricultural training program in Nasarawa State. Admonishing the 300 beneficiaries at the government house in Umuahia, the state capital, before their departure, the chief of staff to the governor, Pastor Caleb Ajagba, advised the participants to take advantage of the opportunity to exit joblessness. He called on them to be good ambassadors of the state, adding that Dr. Alex Otti's administration paid for all 300 beneficiaries to visit CSS farms for onward exposure to all forms of mechanized farming and the entire value chain of agriculture. And speaking on behalf of the participants, Mr. Lucky Ahunwa thanked Abia State Governor Dr. Otti for the training and providing the assurance also that they would be committed to the task before them. And to Imo State now, where a Niger Delta Advocacy Group under the aegis of Urashi Economic Summit Group is calling on the federal government to, as a matter of urgency, do everything possible to improve the well-being and living standards of the people of the Niger Delta region, especially the oil-producing communities of Ohaji, Egbema, and Oguta in Imo State. Speaking in Owerri, the state capital, during a one-day empowerment program for widows, less privileged, and victims of flooding in the area, the convener of the Urashi Economic Summit Group, Ejike Chukwu, says the federal and state governments are not doing enough in improving the living standards of the people of oil-producing communities in the Niger Delta, and as the goose that lays the golden egg, the federal government needs to pay more attention to the people's welfare by providing adequate and basic infrastructure for the people. He says the government must ensure proper implementation of the Petroleum Industry Act in order to protect the rights of host communities in the Niger Delta.
The government has not done enough. I think and I believe that the president of this country today should look into these communities that produce oil, especially people from the Urashi region, our area. They need the presence of the federal government. There are no roads there. The level of gas flare in that environment is also making life unbearable for the people.
And that's it on the program for today. We will be back again tomorrow with another edition covering another region of Nigeria. Thank you so much for watching. I am Bukola Koka. Bye for now.